Hey everyone, welcome to the next exercise, which is exercise 11D, and we're doing area. Now, the concept of area is about a flat space. Alright, so we're talking about the flat space of the top of your desk, or a page, or any flat surface. Alright, and we talk about the width of it and the length of it. So let's say we've got 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre. This area in here then equals 1 centimetre squared. The little 2 goes up after the M. Okay, it's a little 2 that goes up high. So that area is 1 centimetre squared. We can have centimetres squared, okay, or we can have something smaller, which is millimeters squared, which is really, really tiny. Alright, 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. We could have something bigger, which is meters squared, or something even bigger, kilometers squared. Alright, I'm going to quickly show you guys what you need to do, how we convert between all of these. Alright, and we've already talked about this, and it looks exactly the same as what we did for distance, and it works exactly the same, just with a slight little twist. How many centimeters are there how many millimeters are there in a centimeter? There are 10, so we multiply by 10 squared. I'll show you what we do with the calculator later. How many centimeters are there in a meter? 100, so we multiply by 100 squared because we're talking area. Same thing when we go, how many meters in a kilometer? 1,000, so we multiply by 1,000 squared. When we go the other way, so how many millimeters are there in a centimeter? Okay, we go, if we need to work that out, we divide by 10 squared. When we're doing this one, we divide by 100 squared, and converting meters squared to kilometers squared, we divide by 1,000 squared. I'll go through a bit of an example and I'll show you what I mean by this. So let's say we've got 405 millimeters squared, and we want to convert that to centimeters squared. What do we have to do to go from millimeters squared to centimeters? We need to divide by 10 squared. So we would say 405 divided by 10 squared, and then we can put that into our calculator. So we go 405 divided by 10. The squared button is up here. So in between the 8 and 9, go 2 up, and there's a little x with a 2, so that's x squared. So we write 405 divided by 10 squared equals 4.05. So we go back, we go 4.05 centimeters squared. Alright? So I'll quickly do another one. If we had 17 meters squared, and we want to convert that to centimeters squared, what do we have to do? To go from meters squared to centimeters squared, we need to times by 100 squared. So we would say 17 times 100 squared equals, we can just use our calculator, 17 times 100, the squared button is up here in between the 8 and 9, look up, the x2, okay, and then we push equals, whoa, 170,000, that's a big jump, 170,000 centimeters squared. Okay, really important to show our working out and make it really, really clear. So that's the units that we're going to be using. I'm going to quickly show you guys a couple of formulas which are really important because we're going to be finding out the area of squares and rectangles. So the area, the formula we use for a square is area equals L squared. So if we had a square and all the sides were the same length, as you can see, these little dashes here signify that the length is all the same. And let's say that that was 6 meters. So if all the lengths were 6 meters, we can use our formula to find out the area. What we would need to do is write our formula out. A, as in area, equals the length squared. What does the length equal? Let's have a look. It equals 6. Now we need to put that into our formula, so we'd say A equals 6 squared. We can use our calculator. 6 squared equals 36. So we would say it equals 36 meters squared. So that's the formula for a square. Now for the area of a rectangle, which is similar. So if we had a rectangle like this, and these two were the same with the two dashes, and this one were the same, we could say that, let's say this one here is 9, and this one here is 4. All right, our formula is A equals length times width. Let's say this is the length and this is the width. So we would say A equals length times width. Then we need to say what the length equals. That equals 9. The width, that equals 4. So we would say A equals 9 times 4. And then we would say A equals 36. Now we need to put units on there. Doesn't matter what they are. If they're kilometers here, it must be kilometers squared here. All right. So that's our two formulas, okay, of a square and of a rectangle. The other way that they might ask you to do it is they'll give you a big grid with all these squares, and they'll say find the area of this shape here. This is a triangle. So we could say, yep, no problems. Let's count how many squares there are. We say there's 1 there, and then there's half a 1 here and half a 1 here. So you'd say this 1 plus these two halves. A half plus a half makes another 1. So that equals 1 plus 1. So the area is 2. All right. So see how you go with some of those. Okay. If you need to draw it out and colour in, that's fine, and label how many squares there are. Okay, that's something that you've probably done back in primary school. All right, guys, good luck with it. Have a go at exercise 11D, starting at question 1. Please get in contact with me if you have any problems, and I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Take care. Bye.